Well, hello everyone. It is Doug Robbins, or you might know me as Doug the Officiant, as it says right there, right there. Or you might know me as Doug the Foodie, or you just might know as Doug. I'm not sure you know me. But welcome to Engagement, where we get to talk to people that I find interesting, and we do it because I like to be engaged. So a little bit about engagement in this streaming channel and why it came about. And I get this all the time. People say, "Well, Doug, you're a wedding officiant, and people that you deal with are engaged. And is that why you have this show? And is it just for people that are getting married?" And I say, "Heck, no." Engagement is the act of engaging others to chit chat, to have a little talk, some conversation, exchange ideas, and that's what I really like. Yes, I do deal with a lot of engaged people, but yes, I like to weekly, where when I'm able to engage, bring you people that I find to be interesting, talk about whatever I think is cool or upcoming. Not a place for conversations that are diminishing, that are not anti-diverse. We like to be diverse here. No politics. We might argue over what is the best cocktail. We might argue over what is the best recipe. We might argue over what is the coolest celebrity, but we don't talk about politics. Politics has its own place. This is a curated conversation area for those that are more enlightened and engaged. So today, season 5, episode 7. Can you believe it's been 5 seasons? We're rolling into summer here. And summertime for a lot of people means going to the cottage, going to the beach, being on the back deck with a book and sitting there and reading and enjoying themselves and losing themselves. A lot of people just get lost in books. So I've pulled together some friends that happen to be bigger bookies than me, and we're going to have a little talk. But first, we want to bring on, here we go, from our library. Our local library has some incredible programs. So we want to bring on Cassey Beauvais, who's one of the lead people when it comes to what's going on in our local libraries. And let me tell you, they're a resource that we overlook on a regular basis. So she's going to bring us up to speed. And there she is. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How's your summer going?
Oh, it's great. Summer. Well, I mean, I love summer anyway because I'm a gardener and I like the heat. I'm kind of cold-blooded that way.
Yep.
But summer is the busiest time at the library, and it's almost a little bit magical.
Now, we're going to talk about books, and we're going to talk about programs more properly. But what people don't know or might not know is, because you mentioned gardening, is you guys actually have a seed library.
We do, yes.
Which people don't know that exists or what that even is. Do you want to tell us what that's all about?
I can, yeah. So we have 2 seed libraries, actually, in the spring and in the fall. In the spring, we have the CKPL Grows Seed Library Collection, which is a bunch of vegetables, herbs, and some annual flowers that we put together. There are different varieties available across the system, and we checked out just over 5,000 packages of seeds this year. And then in the fall, we do a native plant collection because that's when you should be sowing your native plant seeds in the fall. And both times we actually connected it with programming, having not only the seeds available for people to come in and take with their library card, but then we've had speakers virtually both times come in and talk to us about how to plant those seeds, how to grow things, what grows best in our community, things like that. So yeah, there's so many things in the library. We could talk all of your episodes about what libraries can offer.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, I was actually involved with a program that happened at the library where you could actually come in and get games. You could come in and rent a box or take home a box with games that you can play. So keeps the kids busy, and it's summertime. We want to keep the kids busy.
Absolutely.
Right. So let's talk about your summer reading club, which is this one here.
So that one is our teen summer reading club. which is kind of in the middle, but that's okay. I'll start with that one.
We'll start there.
Yes, why not? It's kind of a new thing for us too. We've only had a dedicated teen staff member in the last couple of years, so we're really kind of ramping up services now. This summer, Teen Summer Reading is all about our Nintendo Switch collection and the Switch parties. We have a grand prize of a Nintendo Switch Lite, which you can have an opportunity to win by either visiting the library, so checking something out, visiting, whatever, you get a ballot, or attending a Nintendo Switch party, which we're going to play a variety of games. We have Mario Kart, Mario Party, Super Smash Brothers, and Just Dance. There's different times all over the place. Tomorrow, actually, by the time this broadcast, the first Chatham one will have taken place. But then Dresden's is on the 19th. Tilbury's on the 21st. And then Chatham has another one on the 27th. Ridgetown has one on the 28th of July, and then August 2nd, it comes to Blenheim. So it's touring all around CK. If you can't make it to Chatham, that's okay. Wallaceburg's was actually yesterday. We have them all over the place, so definitely come check it out. Like I said, grand prize, Nintendo Switch Lite, and then the runner-up prizes, we have a game night bundle that has a board game and some snacks to like hang out with your friends. And then we have some Timmy's gift cards as runner-up prizes as well. So there's some really great stuff going on for teens at the library. And like you mentioned, we have board games. We have both in-print and online collections that they can access. There's so much content. So we're really hoping that they will come in this summer. And they have been, actually. I got really excited the other day. A few teens were in and they said, oh, well, we heard about this on the radio. And I was like, extra ballots! You heard about it on the radio. So it's like I said, it's almost a magical time with the library because, and especially having, COVID for the last 2 years, right? It's been hard. This is the first time we've really been able to open up, like truly, and have things kind of go back to normal, sort of, kind of. We're getting there. So it's so nice and refreshing as a library staff to be able to offer these programs this summer.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun things you can do with your Nintendo Switch. We've done
including check out games at the library.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, see, we have Nintendo Switch games. We just got them as of this February. We did a launch day collection, which had like all the big Mario titles, and then we've been adding games every month. We add games, and I know because I'm the selector for them, so nice. we get them every month. So search.ckpl.ca, type in Switch.
So I'll put that back up again for everyone. So there are the dates. There's the opportunity to win. You can find this on the municipal site and or call the library. Right, there's
Absolutely.
Someone there.
519-354-2940. He can hit us up. That's ages 12 to 18 is for that teen program. So you don't have to be an older teen. You can be a younger teen. We're cool with that too.
Cool. Let's talk about this program here.
Okay, so this is for our grown-ups, or adults, as we like to call ourselves. So Summer Reading Road Trip. Sorry, I've got so many programs on my desk right now. I'm going to make sure I have the right paperwork. So adults, we love making sure that we get to have the experience as adults for summer reading, right? Because you'll hear what we're going to do with the kids, and you've seen what we're doing with the teens. So why can't the adults have fun too?
Absolutely.
And we make it right, and we make it so easy to participate. Every 3 visits, excuse me, I just got so excited. Every 3 visits, you get a ballot. Unless you heard us on the radio, then you get an automatic ballot, as I mentioned with the teens. So every 3 visits, you get a ballot, which turns into or can be used for a prize. There are 12 fabulous prize packs. And I say 12 because there's 11 for each branch, and then there's 1 for the virtual branch. So for people that don't actually come into the library, but only use our virtual resources, we have a contest just for you this summer. This contest is for ages 16 plus. And I just want to name out some of the prizes. There are gas cards in every single prize. They're not a lot because we're the library, and gas is expensive, but it's just enough because we're calling it Road Trip. We've included some really great gift cards in their different each prize pack's different in what you're going to get. So let me just name some of the really cool places that we have gift cards for you in the adult prize pack. So we have the Mary Webb Center, Crazy 8 Barn, Parks Blueberries, Bayside Brewery Restaurant, Buxton National Historical Site, Chilled Cork, Kent Bridge County Country Market, Union Bakery in Dresden, Dutch Market, Delhaven Orchards, Foodland. I think that's whatever. Charlotte's Freedom Farm, Kiwanis and Capitol Theater, and the soon-to-be renamed Uncle Tom's Cabin Historical Site. So very cool things for you to get out into our local community and explore on the theme of engagement, all the ways you can engage in your local community after this summer. And these things won't expire with the summer. They'll keep going into September. So it's a really great program. And all you have to do, because being adults is hard. All you have to do is come in and check out your stuff. That's it. That's all we ask for the adult one.
Make it easy for us adult, because adulting is hard.
It is hard. That's right. Good prizes. That's all we need. Make it easy.
Love that. So then we have the kiddies.
That's right. And this is probably the one that people are most familiar with, is the Children's TD Summer Reading Program or Club, depending on how you're talking about it. I'm going to do a run through. We have 11 branches, and I don't want anybody to be left out. I'm not going to literally name off every program. I'm just going to highlight something from each branch so that you get a flavor for all the fun things that are happening in CK. So, for example, we're going to start in Chatham just because I went alphabetical after Chatham because that's how our bookmarks are labeled. That's the only reason. So, for example, this week, Friday at 1:00 on July 15th, we have the Mystic Drums World Music Safari Adventures. It is sponsored by the ACOM Shriners, and it is in Tecumseh Park. It is an interactive and unique rhythm and sound program. Obviously, being in the park, there's lots of space. We encourage everybody to come out. Like I said, 1:00 July 15th for Mystic Drums in Tecumseh Park. And some other stuff that's happening around the Chatham branch. There's lots, but there's a puppet show on July 21st at 2:00, and a miniature gardening program on July 28th, also at 2:00. Both of those require registration. You'd want to check out our website, ckpl.ca, to register. So moving on to Blenheim now. Blenheim has a performer this week as well, being as it's Cherry Fest. We have the Barry O Kids Show, July 14th, which is Thursday, at 6 p.m. on the main stage at Cherry Fest. You're going to want to check that out. He's a lot of fun. We've had him down before. He does skits and bits and juggling and just family fun stuff that you're going to want to see, especially, and then you get to check out all the cool stuff that is at Cherry Fest. And then also in Blenheim, we have our family story times, July 28th and August 25th at 10 a.m. Registrations preferred, but not required. If you can't register, just come on out. We'd love to see you. Those are best suited for children ages 0 to 5 for the little ones. Then we're going to hop over to Bothwell, who has been doing a combination of in-person programming for the kids, as well as some stay-in-place stuff for the off weeks. I want to talk to you just briefly about Royal Pains, coming to you Saturday, August 13th, 1 p.m. Put on your best nightly attitude and come rescue the prince and princesses. Stories, science experiments, and fun games. You don't want to miss that. Then we're going to go to Dresden, who is also having Mystic Drums, but not until August 18th. So if it doesn't work for you this week, you can hold on until August and check it out then. Also, the very, very, very popular, and I'd suggest you check it out, Twilight Tales Under the Tree in Dresden on Thursday evenings at 6:30. It's a world famous in Chatham Kent Libraries program. You're going to want to check that out. The staff in Dresden always put on an excellent show. Then we're popping over to Highgate, and Highgate has the Fee Fi Fo Fum I Smell a Good Time in Highgate on Friday, August 5th at 10:15. They'll play games, do science experiments, read books, and maybe even grow their own beanstalk. So very cool. Hopping out to Merlin, we've got programs there. Actually, this coming Monday, the 18th, we will be having an under the sea escape room. Very cool. You're going to want to
Oh,
get signed up for that because we haven't had an escape room at CKPL in a little bit. So, and it's only in Merlin. So if you
wow.
want to check it out, you got to sign up. ckpl.ca. Ridgetown, we have some pretty cool things happening out in Ridgetown. I want to highlight we have Teresa Sims from the Skana Family Learning Center who's going to sing some Indigenous songs on July 18th at 12:30 at Watson Park in
Mhm.
Ridgetown. Always good to be inclusive and remembering our
Absolutely.
truth and reconciliation and teaching that
Hmm.
to our youth. And then I'm going to jump to an August program build with the three little pigs. See if you can build something that then the wolf won't be able to blow your house down. Always these STEM programs that we do in the, making fantasy related to STEM, the science and engineering, math programming,
Hmm.
is very important. So let me see, Ridgetown, Thamesville. Thamesville has the Paddling Puppeteers coming Monday, July 25th at 3 p.m. Puppet show. You don't want to miss that.
No.
Tilbury, Build Your Own Castle, Tuesday, July 26th at 2 p.m. Again, there is a castle that they build in Tilbury. You're going to want to check it out. But say Friday, this coming Friday, when I talked about Mystic Drums and another performer, say you're like, I'm not in Chatham. What can I do? You can go to Tilbury. It's also Mystic Drums, July 15th, 3 p.m. in Tilbury at the Tilbury Memorial Park. And a plus is Kale's No Frills in Tilbury has donated 250 mini, like little freezies that we're going to give out. So everybody in Tilbury really can come.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. And I'm almost done with we have 2 branches left. Rock, paper, scissors at Wallaceburg at July 26th at 2:30. There is this great picture book called The Legend of Rock, Paper, Scissors. And then they're going to program off this great book. So you're not only going to hear the story, but you're going to epically battle rock, paper, scissors, which can get pretty intense depending
Hmm.
on how you are.
Exactly.
And then another Mystic Drum show in Wallaceburg, this time again on August 18th at 2:30. Wallaceburg will not be giving out tickets until this show until July 28th, just as a heads up for people in Wallaceburg so that they can make it fair.
Mhm.
But it's free. Of course it's free. It's the library. That's what we
Of
do.
course.
And then I want to talk about our special friends in Wheatley. So as we know, Wheatley's not still in the best of shape.
Right.
It's coming along. It's great. It's coming along, but the library is still a command center right now. So we are still at the Village Resource Center, which is great. But it doesn't mean we don't have the space. We just have like a 10 by 10 room where we can kind of do some circulation and things like that. But people of Wheatley, if you were watching this, we have heard you. The staff are telling me that you want and need more. So I don't actually have all the dates yet, but we're putting in some pop-up story times. The first one will be July 22nd. It's a Friday. It will be at Two Creeks. I don't have the time yet.
Mhm.
This is literally developed in the last couple of days, just because they're saying we really, really, really miss our library programming here in Wheatley this summer.
Mhm.
Those kids have been through so much in the last year. We as the library want to be there for them. So we're whipping together some pop-up story times to hold out at Two Creeks, and we have Bubbleology, which is the great bubble event that we brought in ago before COVID, where she does bubble tricks. She puts kids inside of bubbles. It's crazy. You can hold bubbles in your hands. Like, it is the coolest show. So we are bringing them to the Wheatley Arena on August 9th at 11 a.m. And we have bubbles for the kids. There's freezies from Kale's No Frills again. It is going to be the ultimate party for the kids of Wheatley for everything that they've went through in the last
Nice.
year. So the library has not forgotten them, even though we've been a command center as a building.
Right.
We want those kids to know we are there, and we're going to make sure you get to have some fun this summer.
That's right. Nothing
And
says more fun than bubbles.
Right? Well, right? Honestly.
Right? Yeah.
So, and giant bubbles at that.
Big bubbles.
So,
Yeah.
so that is it. That is, well, I'm not going to say that is it. That was a lot.
That's a lot.
that is what is happening at CKPL this summer. There is literally something for everyone.
Mhm.
So please do come in and check us out.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a long list of things going on. So, I mean, we don't expect that you're going to jot all that down as you went
No,
through.
no,
But
of
go to the
course.
website. It's there. It'll tell you if you need to pre-register, if you just can show up. But yeah, by all means. And um, let's inspire some kids that are not in school for the summer to maybe do a little more reading, because that's important. Whether it's a comic book or a novel, it's still
It,
reading.
it's still reading. And I should mention too, all of our children's materials are fines free. So
Oh,
if yeah, that happened this last year. Anyway, it's all running together with the pandemic. Anyway, I think it was last year. Yes. We are fines free for children's materials now, so you don't have to have that worry that, oh shoot, like we took it to the cottage and we didn't get it back on time. So yes, we got rid of those fines. Barrier free. Come and get your kids their books to read, comic books, nonfiction to learn about facts, fiction to hear stories, so that they can keep up on their reading and those skills for school. And we can just trick them into it by giving them really fun and entertaining stories to read.
absolutely.
They don't even know that they're learning.
Right, exactly. You shouldn't have. It'd be great to tell young Doug that there was no fines on his books, because he was sort of horrible at returning them.
It is, honestly, Doug, it is in our strategic plan to focus on access here at the library. And honestly, you will see I think it is by 2024, 2025, all library fines will be gone from CKPL, as long as council approves it. So
Nice.
it's a slow process, because we've got to chip down the amount of money that comes from our budget. But every time council says yes, we can take a little bit more off and then transfer that burden away from the people that need this resource. So
Nice.
yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. So check out the website. There's a lot going on.
Absolutely.
Can't say there's not. Please don't say you're bored this summer. There's too
No.
much going on.
No, definitely not.
Excellent. So let's transition to talk about some adult reading.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking like dirty adult. I'm talking like, over
So if that's
18.
your thing, that's fine too, right?
We don't judge. We
No
don't judge.
judgment.
Hey, if it means you're going to turn the page, that's all that really matters, right?
There you go.
You're going to finish that book. Because we all have books we've started and just didn't live up to our expectations and didn't finish reading.
Mhm.
Anyway, I want to bring on a friend of mine who is an avid reader, and you may know this lady. Her name is Fannie Vavoulis, and she is a ravenous reader. Before I bring her on, I also want to make sure. Well, no, we'll bring her on. Maybe I'll embarrass her on camera. Hey, Fanny, did I say that?
You don't want to embarrass me without me being.
I think you're a pretty dynamic person.
I look so different from that photo, eh? Oh, short hair. I've
Look at
aged
that.
10 years. Pandemic.
Pandemic hair. I know. I understand. If either it's long, short, or it's falling out, one of the three.
Exactly.
So
That's my hair. It's long.
See, pandemic. Yes. So speaking of being dynamic and involved, not only are you a ravenous reader, but you're also what I would call a community mover and shaker. You were involved a number of years ago in this, which is the TEDx Chatham Kent, which is TED Talk.
Yep.
That's pretty phenomenal.
That's,
yeah. I'd love to see that happen again.
Me too.
But when you're not out shaking and moving the world, you're reading books. You sent me a list of what you were currently reading when you were at the cottage a few weeks ago, and I didn't capture the picture, but I know that you have a long stack. You were gone for what is it? A week?
I was gone for about a week.
You had 9 books, girl.
I brought everything with me, didn't I? And you'll see behind me, this is my bookshelf in my office, and this is my to be read pile. I haven't made it through these books.
That's to be read.
To be read. My read pile, I either donate, give to friends. I have a little library in front of my house, or they're in the basement in boxes, and maybe one day I'll reread them. Or I feel like it's not necessary to keep a book if you can share it.
Yeah.
And make its world and its life last longer than the 2 days that it took me to read it, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Free
little libraries, for those who don't know, they're all over the world. We manage one in our neck of the woods. You have one in your front lawn, and I think they're very much. We had a friend who had one, who was near and dear to us, and I think they're important. because the one we manage, some days we fill it up and come back, it's empty, and then we come back to fill up again. And someone has brought, an unknown citizen has brought more books, whether they're Daniel Steele or murder mysteries or comic books or books for kids or cookbooks or what have you.
Yeah.
So it's a microcosm, really.
Yeah.
So
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's something, you know, I get so much joy when I see a new book in my little library. It's like, oh, somebody visited. And I get so much joy when somebody sends me a picture of their kids in front of my little library, grabbing a kid's book, or leaving, you know, an adult, whatever the case is. There's no better way to spend my time. Introspective, reading a book, the peace, the quiet, and getting lost in somebody else's words and world. It just, I don't know. There's ever since I was a kid, my parents owned a restaurant here, and they had, which you know, Doug, and Cassey might know, but she's might not be from the age of when the restaurant existed. But I would sit at the counter while my parents worked, and my babysitter was a book. So I would spend all day, all night, because they didn't give us real human babysitters. And I would read all day, all night, squint in the dark, because the restaurant, the first restaurant we had, was dark. There wasn't a lot of lighting. And yeah, so it just is, it's just this beautiful way to fill my cup. And as wonderful as it is to be part of the community and out there and doing great things, that's what I need to refuel and feel energized to get back out there on a Monday morning.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, books, I mean, there are all types of books. Some are to educate, and some are to escape.
Yeah.
Right. And I read a ton of well, you'll see what I'm reading shortly, but I read a lot of course, for work, and it doesn't take you away. It just explains, right?
Yeah.
So for me to find a book that truly transports is rare for me, because a very narrow topic line for me. And I'm also that person that you don't want to watch a movie with or read a book with, because I'm going to guess what's going to happen next. I'm reading it thinking ahead, which is a problem, but nonetheless. So yeah, if it's suspenseful and it's a page turner, and I'm eager to read it, that's magical for me. So yeah. So what are you reading right now? I've got a picture of everything that you. This is the picture Fanny sent me this week.
That's the pile that I have read. Will read again. Make sure if I get a forum like this where I can recommend books, there's books in there. So I guess one that I has been on the New York bestsellers list, and I actually didn't pick it up until I saw a CBS Morning interview right before the Grammys with John Baptiste, who is a phenomenal artist.
I like him.
Isn't he awesome? He's so good. He and his wife were on there, and his wife is the author of Between Two Kingdoms. Her name is Sulika Jawad. And he was on that interview. I love John Baptiste. His wife was talking about her book, which has been on the bestseller list. And I thought, I should pick it up. This book is her memoir about her her journey with leukemia and all that she's been through. And it's the during leukemia and the post leukemia. It is so beautifully written. And it's a moment in time where I'm like, I'm so glad I turned CBS Morning on that Sunday morning, because I would have never picked up the book. I would have, walked by it every time I was at the bookstore. Beautiful story. And so then I decided to follow her Instagram account, and she sends out a weekly blog, which then she recommends artists, music, different things. And she recommended this book, which is my coffee table book. So if people come over, I love them to flip through it. I flip through it. And this is the book here. Things to look forward to. 52 large and small joys for today and every day. And on each page is some, things that warm our heart. Collecting pebbles, petting a dog. Crazy enough, I opened the page to the full moon, which tomorrow is a full moon. But this one pagers with beautiful illustrations. And when Sulika posted about this, don't we all need to really find the joy in the small moments? We have, with everything we've been through. And with everything life throws at us, it's one of those little reminders that sit on my coffee table, and, flip through it. So those are two that I've read and will refer back to.
Nice.
Doug,
Yeah.
I would hate if I didn't talk about the Book of Negroes.
I have that book. Yes.
Am I turning it? Yes.
Yes. Canadian author. Big fan of him and his brother, who's a singer.
Yep.
Met both of them and think the world of both. But yeah.
Greatest. Cassey knows this, because if I think I tout about it on Twitter 24/7. Best book I have ever read, will ever read. Nothing will ever top this book. Lawrence Hill is the all-time. I bow to him. I too have had the opportunity to meet him, and he is a wonderful spirit, and he embodies Black history, Canadian. Like, he is just everything. Every reason he won a Governor General Award. Anyways, fully, if you haven't read it, I don't want to say should, but you should read it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So good. And Cassey, I know he was scheduled to be here this past spring and had to cancel.
Yeah, unfortunately he got COVID right before our big visit at the Capitol. So I'm hoping that maybe next year we can connect and have him down. I only just read the Book of Negroes, I think, this year. And I can't believe that, because I was like, oh, I haven't ever read a Lawrence Hill book. That's really wrong, because I met him one day when he was at the library for the last time he came down for, I can't remember which book, but you and Tanya had partnered on that.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, I'm like, I met Lawrence Hill. I really need to read his book. And you are right. It is one of the best books I have ever read. So, and when I posted it on my Facebook, because I usually post what I read just to try and engage conversation about reading, that had like the most popular, everybody wanted to say how great that book was. So yes, if you haven't read it, it is definitely a should. You should pick it up. It's definitely very good. And the library has it too, if you need it.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's something about Aminata, the main character in that book, that still stays with me. And that is when you know a book, at least for me, when I know a book has touched my heart, is when I continue, when I cry when the book is over because I just don't want to finish the last pages, and two, when I continually think about the characters after the fact, which brings me to, that was actually a perfect segue that I didn't plan.
Wow.
Lisa Genova. She is a neuroscientist, and she has every note played. She also wrote Still Alice, which a lot of people know that book, and about Alzheimer's, early onset Alzheimer's. And Julianne Moore was the lead actress in the movie when it became a movie. And she writes amazing books. She has several, which are all based on brain disease. So this particular one is about ALS, a piano player who has ALS. And all of her characters are fiction, but based on true stories. So she spends a lot of time with people who have these brain diseases. And in this case, she spent time with a pianist in the Massachusetts area. And I think about Richard so much. He has found a way into my heart and into my brain. And Lisa's books are unbelievable. I had the opportunity to connect with her over the power of social media, and have had a chance to have some conversation with her. And her next book is going to be about bipolar, a woman with bipolar. So I think that's coming out in the next couple of years. And she, fantastic writer. So every note played is something that I would highly recommend. Doug, you're going to have to stop me because you know I won't. Because next, who's coming to Chatham in 2023 at the Capitol Theater?
Yep.
Miss Jan Arden.
Yep. Love her.
Speaking about Alzheimer's, this is a book about her relationship with her mother while she went through her journey with Alzheimer's, which, and Doug, you know this because we are close friends. Taking care of an aging parent is one thing. Taking care of an aging parent with any sort of illness is a very difficult thing. And I read this a couple of years after my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and it hit home. Even though it wasn't Alzheimer's, it was still the love you have.
Parallels. Yeah.
And And I didn't pick this out because Jan is coming to Chatham. I actually picked it out because it's on my shelf. I do this thing where my favorite books I give as gifts, and I have multiple copies of this one. So I've given it to friends who have been faced with that same life instance that we just wish we didn't have to go through. Yeah. So highly recommend Jan. And I think Jan, if you follow her on social media, she really speaks from the heart. She has no holds bar. And she is passionate, and the passion resonates through her book. Yeah.
Wow. When is she coming to Chatham?
I believe it's January of 2023. She's coming to the theater. Yeah.
All right.
Get your tickets.
Good.
Yeah. So
I'll be following that for sure.
I know.
Yeah.
I have tons more. You tell me when to
start. What Cassey, what are you reading? Do you have anything that's right there? Is your desk littered with books?
You would think, right?
Wow.
Cassey has the best job working in a library. Right? Honestly, library or bookstore. Whoo, lucky girl.
It is so well. Books are better that I'm at a library because my stuff's free. But I joke because I buy a lot of books. I read them at the library first, give them a test drive, and then when I've decided yes, this is something I want to either reread or put in my personal collection, then I buy.
Right.
So I actually I have my Goodreads out. So that's I don't have any books on me. I can't tell you what I'm reading right now. One of them, because we're testing the author for CK Reads next year.
Oh,
so and I know that Fanny's like, woo, yeah. So I can't. So
sacred oath.
Yeah, right. CK Reads the book when we're picking has got to be very behind the scenes, to build that suspense.
We don't know where you guys meet, or everything's in code and encoded and encrypted, and
even the Nazis couldn't figure it out. So, but I can talk. Let's see. I'm trying. What am I reading? Apparently not very much, according to my. Honestly, I'm like,
I expect that from me, not you.
I finished a bunch of books, and I'm trying to get what I have read. Okay, I just read The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. It is a fantasy novel that takes place in 3 different times. It is fantastic. I really liked it. What else have I read? Oh, The Last Garden in England by Julia Kelly. I honestly picked that book based on its cover. It has this beautiful cover of a glassed-in garden. And it's a historical fiction. It's got a little bit of love in there. And it's all about gardening. So if you are me, that's really great. I've also read, I do a little bit of nonfiction at the library. It's so easy to do that, and it's great to investigate things. Planting Native to Attract Birds to Your Yard by Sharon Sorensen was something I picked up recently, trying to convert some of my gardens to native spaces. So we were supporting pollinators and birds and things like that. I need the whole title for this one. A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Who this book, she's a spicy one. So spicy. 50 Shades of Grey spicy. But it's a fantasy novel that has some spice to it. I gave it 5 stars. So
Was that out of 5 stars or was it 10 stars?
Out of 5.
Okay. So I need to know the grid.
And I'm just trying to see as I'm quick scroll. Yeah, Book of Negroes is on here too as a recent read. I'm trying to get back to one that I saw in your pile, and I just
don't want to see the pile.
In Fanny's pile.
Yeah.
5 Little Indians by Michelle Good.
Yeah.
If you haven't read that yet, it is required reading for every Canadian. I strongly believe in that. It is about It is about survivors of residential schools. It is so well written and yet so slap in the face of what they experience. Everyone should read it. That's the book I was scrolling to find. And then I was like, no, Fanny has it. Yeah, it is so well done. I bought it. I knew it was Indigenous, but I didn't know the exact story. And I just bought it as part of my, a term I'd heard another librarian use, reconciliation.
Yep.
I thought I would purchase this book, support that voice, and learn more for myself. And oh man, did I learn. And I've only been doing more and more as I go on. I try as a librarian to learn and grow every day. So,
exactly.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Cool.
But yeah, I can't actually tell you the book I'm actually reading right now because it might be a CK Reads book, and I don't want to spoil it.
No spoilers here. So. Let me tell you what I'm reading. I'm going to bring the whole intelligent level right down.
I talked about Sarah J. Maas. You're fine.
No, trust me. So, in all honesty, I'll say this. This is incredibly true, and I've said this too. During COVID, I was asked to be a guest, secret mystery guest to a class that was doing Zooms, and they had different classes from Chatham Kent Zoom in, and I was extremely frank, as I typically can be. And we talked about reading and what I do, and what I do is I read scripts to couples getting married, and I write scripts. And I actually would rather, don't judge me, but I'd rather write a book than read a book. And I've started 4 books, not finished them, only because I can anticipate what's coming. Reading a script in front of people, for me, up until just recently, has been terrifying, because in school, I would go get called on to read out loud, and if you stumbled, I had a teacher, a male teacher, who was extremely hard on you if you didn't know the word. Instead of helping you, he had hurt you. So being called on to read, even as I became an adult, was a terrifying thing. So I didn't read a lot for pleasure, but I should have, in hindsight, because I would have become a better reader. All that to say that when I read something, it really has to capture me. So my friends that know me very well know that I don't do a lot of summer reading, but every once in a while I proclaim, this summer I'm going to read a book. And when my kids were little, I remember making that proclamation, and the book was the Yeah Sisterhood. And I read it in my backyard.
No judgment.
I did the voices. I did the accents. I read the book. It was a page turner for me. Nice. I read the whole damn thing. So last year I said to everyone, this is the summer. I'm going to read a book, at least one, from cover to cover, and then finish it. And that book, that book was this one right here, actually.
Oh, the suspense.
Right now, it's one of my favorite books, and it's Finding Freedom by Erin French.
Ooh.
This lady, this chef, who's now on Magnolia Network, talking about sort of as a documentary weekly show about her kitchen. Yeah. This book captured me. I loved the book. I love the story. I didn't want it to end. These are words I don't normally say. This was fantastic. I actually asked the library. I asked Sarah, who works at the library. I said, if I like this, what else will I like? And apparently there's a algorithm that you guys have there that you can pump something in that tells you, right? So it said that I should read this, which is what I'm just starting to dive into. So, I mean, it's been around forever. Kitchen Confidentials, Anthony Bourdain. Haven't got to anything spicy yet, but I'm hoping that there's some spice coming my way. And then this is the other book that was a summer page turner for me, and I want to reread this. A friend wants to borrow this right now, and it's because we have been there, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. A good book, great story, has a plot. I really liked it, and we visited there as well, going back actually to see it. And then my next summer book, which is weird for me to say that I have one that I'm reading and one that I want to read this summer, is Gumbo Tales. So heading to New Orleans this fall. I wanted a book about New Orleans so I can, be fully steeped in the area, in the culture, and in the country. So this came up. It's funny when you ask for New Orleans books, you typically get what I normally read, which are cookbooks, because I have a ton of cookbooks. Which this one here, Also, Erin French, her Lost Kitchen cookbook. I have began to cook my way through this cookbook. So if you follow me on the Tiki-Taki, which is where I put all my food stuff now, that's where you'll find it. I'm also cooking through this book. So a Magnolia Table, which is my thing. I have a lot of cookbooks. I have a ton of cookbooks.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
We actually.
So it's always good to find a resource, a librarian, a friend that understands what you like to read, because they'll be the ones that can say, this is the book for you. And those referrals, the recommendations carry a lot of weight, because it's a referral from a friend, right? And you want to dive into it, enjoy it, and hope that they're right. So yeah.
I'm gonna look up Finding Freedom. So I have to write that down. And you know what? There's a meme that goes around that says something like, if you see a stranger reading a book that you love, it's finding your best friend. The stars aligning, in a sense, right? And it's true. Like when you are, at a restaurant and I see somebody reading a book, I'm like, oh, should I go tell them that it's my favorite book? Right? It just
the answer is yes, you should.
Yeah. Can we be best friends or what? And then as well, on that note, we all have a very good friend in Tanya, the CEO of the library. And I remember, and I think, Doug, when I ran into you at the mall a few months ago now, Tanya's advice to me was, because you see my to be read pile, was, if you're reading a book and you're not into it, just put it away. There's a million other books that deserve your attention and your love. And because when you struggle trying to get through a book, what's the point? And so ever since Tanya said that to me, I feel no guilt putting the book on the, so people do impart very wise words when it comes to reading and recommendations, that I feel like we need to listen to those wise words.
Well, I think when the luxury of time to read a book is a very expensive luxury.
Yeah.
Right. We're all so busy. We're running around. We've got a million things to do. We've got other things that capture our attention. We're falling down rabbit holes of social media, etc. We're getting caught up in things that are going on in unrest in the world and just general life. So to have the luxury of the time to sit and read is important. And I heard a stat actually today on a seminar that if you read 10 minutes a day, you would read more than, I think it's 80% of the population, which is staggering, really. 10 minutes. So to carve out 10 minutes is not a big thing. I had a Nana who was very, well, Nana, you knew Nana, who read 10 minutes every morning while the coffee was perking. And that was her quiet time. And she did it every day. And I thought to myself, that's something I could adopt. Yeah. Right. So
what a great tradition to carry forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's important. It's important to read it. It broadens your horizons. It expands your mind. It fights ignorance. Yeah. You learn, and then you're not as ignorant in the sense of not knowing. Yeah. So yeah. But for me, there's I love books. The texture, the sound when they open, the spine making cracking noises, the turning of the page. I love all that. Yeah. So, and I'm also a huge visual person. So, things like coffee table books or photography that's impactful is important. And I like all that. So.
I feel the same. I feel like walking into a bookstore or the library, it just feels so enveloped in the world, right? And the smells, all of it. Yeah. I'm so glad we have the library resources we have. I'm so glad we finally have a bookstore with new books. I loved the used ones too, don't get me wrong, but it promotes literacy, and it promotes community. And Doug, what you said about what you said with your hesitation to read because of the teacher that wasn't on your side to help you learn to love to read, rather than lambasting you, I guess, in a sense. Isn't it so important for our younger generation and for our educators? And we know our librarians are amazing. I've been in the library when I've seen the way they speak to the younger people and how beautiful it is. This is where our youth and our children learn to love literacy and books, right? So that's very important to us. So your grandma reading for 10 minutes every morning. What a gift to pass down from generation to generation.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Yeah. It's something, 10 minutes is not a lot to take out of your day.
No.
You can find a 10-minute hole somewhere or make it a priority, put it at the top of your day, right? So.
Yeah. You know what? Be late for work by 10 minutes. You'll never be.
Right. Well, if you're working from home, the commute time is negligible. So yeah.
Exactly.
So excellent. You guys are exciting to talk to. The library is a great resource. Having a friend like Fanny and having, a wealth of knowledge and a resource is incredible. I encourage everyone, if you're starting to read, wanting to get back into reading, if you're, trying to get your kids inspired, like I was told as a kid, a comic book is still reading, back when I was a kid, it was Mad magazines. That's what I would read. And they're always fun, but it's important. I mean, we read, everything is text now, right? You're looking at your phone, you're reading emails, we do all that, but we don't seem to take the time to have the leisure to read.
Yeah.
But it's something that hopefully comes back, and if that comes back, people will actually start writing like thank you notes or little handwritten letters as opposed to sending off a text with things like, the letter U and R for your, and that kind of stuff. Don't even get me started on that.
I've never done that.
I usually type the whole thing out. Occasionally, I have used the letter R or the letter U, but I prefer the actual word. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah. It is a whole other show.
We can talk about that, and why guys don't wear their pants up where they're supposed to be. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah. I don't really start to sound like our parents and our grandparents, right? Who knew?
I liked my grandparents.
So there you go. Right?
I don't mind that. So, well, guys, thank you very much. Check out the library, find a friend, find a free little library in your neck of the woods, and get to know it, walk to it, get a book, bring a book. Books keep the world going around. So, but awesome. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy your summer reading.
Thank you.
And for everyone else, thank you for coming to Engagement. We always love having you here, and we'll talk to you soon.